got to really be locked in defensively.
All right, let's go over the starting lineups. First of all, for these Bobcats, Eric Behrens, welcome to Marshall for the first time. Corday Sims, we talked about him. He's their leading scorer out of Chicago, Illinois, a 6'5" junior. Sean McGarry out of Omaha, a 6'1" senior. David Plain out of Chicago, a 5'8" junior at the point. John Ruffin, also out of Chicago, a 6'6" junior. And Jeff Neverson out of Brooklyn, New York, a 6'4" junior. Only two players on this squad were there a year ago. I believe it was Grant Leslie and Brent Pierce, the only two players from a year ago. For the Vikings, James Lane, the 6'6" senior. Lane, the leading scorer, or second leading scorer now, as Ralphie Burton has 13.9 average. But Lane is the leading rebounder out of Cape Girardeau. Ravi Burton, the 6'7" junior out of St. John's Antigua, 13.9 points a game now. Brad Hamilton, 12.8 points a game. Pittsfield, Illinois, 6'2" senior. Andre Scott, Fort Worth, Texas, 6'2" senior in the starting lineup. Those four all in double figures. And Byron Cook will be the point guard today. Byron out of Fort Worth, Texas, a 5'11" freshman. Joe, I think this is going to be an up-tempo, physical, exciting basketball game. I think both teams are ready for this one.
Well, Peru State, I think, has a pretty good team this year. They've lost a couple players, I believe, it's semester. I know their coach told me that their big man, I'm not sure what his name is, the 6'9" fellow dressed out in street clothes, he will be back next week. But yeah, they've got a lot of new players this year. They knocked off, beat Benedictine on the road to start the conference season, almost beat Evangel, but I think they have lost a couple players. So it'll be interesting to see what the mix is today and how it all pans out. But yeah, they're a talented team that has some good athletes, and Vikes will have to bring their A game today.
Vikings in their home gray tennis shoes, purple numbers, and they are trimmed in orange. The blue and white colors of the Bobcats. Joe All has the first half.
Okay, ready to go. Ball in the air, and it's controlled by Peru, so we're underway as the tap comes back to David Plain as he brings the ball across the timeline for Peru, gets it on the right wing to McGarry. Now back out, head of the key to Sims, the leading scorer. Now McGarry gets it back, bounce pass inside, up over the top. That shot was missed. Rebound, Ravi Burton. That first shot was taken by John Ruffin. Ravi gets the defensive rebound for the Vikings. Burton with about a 10-foot jumper, and he's fouled on the first shot of the game for the Vikings. So Ravi whacked on the wrist as he takes the shot, and that's going to come up on Jeff Neverson, so that'll put Ravi. Ravi, a big game on Thursday night as he had 27 points against Avalon. I believe was like 11 out of 12 from the free throw line, so maybe his best offensive performance as a Viking. I'm not sure of that, but one of his better ones, I know that, and he knocks down the first free throw. Vikings draw first blood.
Wasn't he 11 out of 12 from the free throw line?
11 out of 12, that's what I was saying, yeah, 11 out of 12. So Ravi will have one more here, second shot, perfect. So the big guy takes up in his last two games. He's 13 out of 14 now, so let's keep it going, big guy. Now Peru breaks the press. Good job. They get it inside to Ruffin, and he lays it in. So good job, good press breaker. They get it down to Ruffin underneath. He flips it in. We're tied at 2. Vikes trying to go to 4-1 in conference play. They're tied right now in second place with Central Methodist, a half game behind Evangel, who leads it. Now Hamilton around the screen, gives back outside to Andre Scott. Hamilton a deep three off the right wing. This one a little bit short, but Ravi tracks down the offensive rebound for the Vikes. Vikes a reset man-to-man defense by Peru. Both teams start out in the man. Byron Cook starting in place of DJ Booker, who hyperextended a knee on Thursday night. Look for him to be back before too long. Now Scott thinks about a three. Instead backs it out down to 14 on the shot clock. Now defense is Neverson, and they're going to say, I don't know what they call. They call a foul, or they say stepped out of bounds. Say Andre Scott stepped on the out-of-bounds line. The official had a lot of help. About 4 different Peru State coaches were right in his face as Andre had the ball right in front of the bench, and that's kind of like going over to the visitors' bench on a football game and expecting to get some help.
Yeah, he stepped out. A lot of pushing and shoving going on early. I think this will be a very physical game.
Sims almost walked, almost drug that back foot. No call. Now Ruffin takes a baseline jumper. This one rolls in. This one hung on the rim for the longest of time and dropped in. So John Ruffin, he has all 4 points. He's a junior out of Chicago. He has all 4 Peru points. They lead it by a 4-2 score. James Lane misses a shot, but James tracks down his offensive rebound, gets it out to Hamilton. Brad has a deep three, pinball out. Rebound, Ruffin. Looks like both these teams want to get up and down the floor. Chad Lance thought there was a travel that time, no call.
I'll agree with Chad on that one.
McGarry spins inside off the glass and in. So Sean McGarry, left-handed take right down the middle, and Peru State on a 6-0 run. They lead at 6-2. Lane wraparound pass into Robbie. Back out to James. James skips it on the right wing to Hamilton. Brad stop and go dribble. Tried to get it into Burton, and Ruffin's going to reach around for a foul. That'll be the second team foul on Peru as he tried to reach around and get position on Robbie Burton. Robbie, a good job stepping to the ball. It'll be a non-shooting foul. Vikes will inbound into their own bucket.
Well, you can tell this Peru team, they want to get the ball and go with it in any opportunity they can.
Now Brad Hamilton, nice reverse dribble into Lane, got it. So good job by Brad penetrating down the baseline. He found James Lane under the bucket, cuts the Peru lead to 2. We played 2.5 minutes thus far.
Talk about the fact Hamilton, a very good passer. That was a real nice pass across that lane to a wide open.
There's a good reverse dribble, spinning and coming right down the baseline with the left hand. So there's a deep three. This one taken by Sims. He missed it, but a rebound by Ruffin. His follow shot misses, and bodies all over the place. And Andre Scott and 2 Peru State players both go up. All 3 go up for the loose ball, and I think they're going to call that a
tie ball,
a jump ball. That's not the correct terminology anymore. A held ball, whatever you want to call it. Alternate possession rule. Ball goes back to the Vikings. Just over 17 minutes left. Vikes will try to tie it here. Andre Scott outside. Andre around a Burton screen. Now backs it out. Puts up a 3. This one lips off the front of the rim. No good. McGarry tracks down the rebound for Peru. Brings it into the forecourt. Skip pass across to David Plain. Plain sporting a blue headband. Gets it back to Sims, who dribbles inside. Missed the shot. Sims, the leading scorer on this team, averaging almost 18 points a game. Now Andre Scott loses the handle for the Vikings. Here come the Cats. Deep on the right wing to Sims. Down low to Neverson. Neverson off the glass, basket and 1. Has a good entry pass. They get it into Jeff Neverson. He's pretty good size down low. They list Neverson at 6'4". He's from Brooklyn, New York. He lays it in, and that foul is going to come up on James Lane. And that's the first team foul on the Vikings. That'll put Neverson on the line to try to complete the 3-point play.
Kyle Hickey checks in. Andre Scott out for the Vikings, who trail 8-4.
Neverson bends at the knees. He looks to me like he's bigger than 6'4".
Yep.
I don't know. They list him at 6'4", but nonetheless, he hits the free throw, and the lead is 9-4 with 16:22 left to play. Here in the first half from the Burns Athletic Center, Byron Cook drives inside, missed the shot, but James Lane just there. James' feet never came to the ground. He tapped the ball in the air, midair, tipped it in. He's got 4 points. It's a 9-6 Peru State lead.
Good job. He just went up, calmly tipped it in.
Couldn't have a better ball to tip than that one was.
Mike's playing some zone.
Now a steal. Brad Hamilton gets a steal for the Vikings. Tries to save it. Now does save it to Byron Cook. Cook the other way. Byron drives in with the left hand, and somehow Byron switched the ball from his right to his left hand. I didn't see it, but he did. Laid it in with the left hand, make it a 1-point game. Right, Byron's pretty quick, isn't he?
He's real quick.
But you're right. Oh, there's that alley-oop lob, and boy, they go right over the top as they get the ball to Neverson. I think that was McGarry that made that pass, but they lob it to Neverson down low. He slams it on the old alley-oop play, and a well-executed play. And now they're going to say that Neverson knocks it off out of bounds. Kyle Hickey in front of Kyle Hickey, so it looks like the Vikes will retain possession. 15-17 left to play.
Jamar Cannon, 6'2" junior, checks in for the Bobcats.
Cannon didn't start. He averages almost 13 points a game for Peru State. Now Cook back outside to Jordan Bowling, who's in the lineup. Now Hamilton around a Bowling screen. Bounce pass into Robbie. Nice pass by Hamilton. Robbie has it spin out on him. Another good pass by Brad Hamilton, the senior out of Pittsfield, Illinois. 11-8, Peru State on top. David Plain outside to Ruffin now. McGarry, head of the key, out beyond the arc, guarded by Bowling. McGarry gets it down to Sims. Sims baseline jumper, air ball, Rebound, Kyle Hickey. Good defense by the Vikings that time. Down low to Bowling. Bowling shot a little bit short. Rebound to Sims.
Good pass. Bowling just couldn't get it over the lip of the rim.
Cannon. Cannon in the corner for Peru State, guarded by Hamilton. Now he gets it down low. Nice pass to Ruffin, but missed. But the Bobcats get an offensive rebound. Now driving inside and flipping up a shot is going to be Sean McGarry. And he's going to be fouled by Robbie Burton. Did not get the shot to go, but that'll put McGarry on the line. That should be a shooting foul. Put him on the line for 2 shots. Is Mr. Instant Contact. Joe Williams gets set to check into the Viking lineup. Bodies will start to fly now.
It's a physical game. He'll fit right in there.
I don't think Joe ever kind of blends right in. I mean, you know he's in there when he comes in. And McGarry misses the first free throw. He'll have one more as Robbie Burton sits down. Andre Scott checks back in, and Brad Hamilton comes to the bench for a little bit of a breather.
Well, as fast-paced as this game is, the bench is going to be very important today for both sides.
McGarry missed the first one. He'll have one more here to try to extend the lead. He does. Makes it a 4-point lead as he knocks down 1 out of 2 with 14-15 left to play here in the first half. High post now, Joe Williams gives outside to Scott. And now they're going to call a foul. I think that's going to come up on McGarry, I believe. I think they said, yep, Sean McGarry said he reached out, and that'll be the 3rd team foul on Peru State. The Vikings have 2. Vikes set the half-court offense. Hickey, stop and go dribble. Kyle behind the back, flips it up in the lane with the left hand. Can't get it to go. Rebound. Neverson brings it out of there for Peru State. David Plain, right wing. There's a jumper out of the corner by Cannon. No good. Nice screen out by the Vikings. Good rebound by Hickey. Here comes Mo Val on the run. Andre Scott on the left wing. Head of the key to Williams. Joe hands to Hickey. Kyle down the middle, almost lost it. Instead into the corner to Scott. His 3 out of the corner. Pinballs out. Nice offensive rebound by Joe Williams. As Joe goes up strong, and he's fouled by Grant Leslie. Leslie, the big man out of Auburn, Nebraska, 6'8" sophomore, and he fouls Joe Williams. Nice hustle on the offensive glass by Joe Williams that time.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe the only 2 players, Brett Pierce and Grant, are the only 2 players that were here last year.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. And Joe Williams misses the first free throw. He'll have one more. Joe, again, is a 6'8" senior who hails from Frisco, Texas. Now the clock is turned off all of a sudden. So we can tell you, we'll just total it up here real quick. The Vikings have 8, and it's 12. I think 12 to 8. Peru State on top. So they try to get the clock reset.
For the Vikings, it's going to be a tough physical game. Lane has 4. Robbie Burton has 2. Now the clocks are back on, and we're ready to go.
13:29 left to play in the first half. Joe Williams missed the front end of the 1-and-1. He'll have one more right here. Joe's second charity toss misses also, and Leslie gets the rebound. So Vikes miss a good opportunity right there to cut into the lead. Vikes in looks like some type of a 2-3 zone right now. High post to Neverson into the corner. Now wrap around behind the back pass by Cannon, back out to Plain. Plain spins inside. Down to 14 on the shot clock. Plain between the 2 circles, head of the key. Tries to go around Byron Cook, now down on the baseline to Cannon. His fadeaway jumper off the baseline's good, and they're going to say that's a 3 as Jamar Cannon, averaging 12.8 points a game, knocks down his first bucket of the game, and Coach Chad Lance wants a timeout. Just under 13 minutes left to play. Peru State leads it 15-8.
Well, getting some good looks. The ball just not going down right now, and I think that's what Chad Lance is telling his team. I heard him say, let's get ready to play, because I guarantee you this Bobcat team is coming in and they're ready to play. So against a team like this, you better stay with it, because they can score points in bunches. As you mentioned, they average 77 points a game. They're not afraid to put it up.
No, they're not, and they've got quite a few weapons. Again, their leading scorer is Corday Sims. He averages 17.3 points a game, but Plain averages 13, Cannon 12.8, and McGarry 11.1. So they've got 4 of their 4 regular players that average in double figures, kind of like the Vikings. Vikings have their big 4 And the Vikings talking to them. Robbie Burton, the leading scorer, 13-9. James Lane, 13-4. Brad Hamilton, 12-8. And Andre Scott. Andre averages 10.9. All right, Viking ball. It's a 15-8 lead for the Bobcats. The visitors were supposed to be in Peru State this afternoon, but there's some apparent water problems up there, so we're here in Marshall.
And they're playing a zone now after that timeout.
Now Hickey spins just inside the free throw line, puts up a jumper. Nice touch that time by Kyle Hickey as that ball danced on the rim. He got it softly over the top of the front of the rim, and it dropped in for Kyle. That's his first bucket. He makes it a 5-point game. Vikes almost get a steal. Now they do as Jordan Bowling gets the strip. Jordan, the senior out of Crane, gets it ahead to Byron Cook. Cook stop-and-go dribble. Lost the handle, but Bowling retrieves it right around the midcourt circle. Coach Chad Lance wants him to set the circle offense, whatever that is. Left wing it comes to Andre. Andre left wing. Hickey. Kyle thought about a three. Instead spins to the baseline, puts up a shot that's a little too strong, and David Plain there to track down the rebound for Peru State. And boy, there's Corday Sims, and everybody says he's a good athlete. He showed it that time as he dribbled to the left with the left hand, went right down the baseline, flipped it in with the right hand to make the lead. 17-10 for Peru. That's Sims' first bucket. Andre Scott. Andre, they give him a three. He takes it, misses. This one hits the back of the rim and comes out. Peru wants to get it down quickly. Sims has it knocked away from him, taken away by Big Joe. Joe Williams gets the steal.
Smart move by Williams. He stopped, gave the ball to a guard. He said, I'm going to get the low block.
You don't want Joe leading the fast break too many times.
He knew that. Smart move.
Vikes against that zone. Head of the key, Cook. Cook, the point guard, starting in place of DJ Booker. Now I think they're going to call Joe Williams for an offensive foul. I think they say Joe set an illegal pick that time. And so the big 6'8" senior gets his first foul. Ball back to the Bobcats as Williams, Hickey, and Jordan Bowling come out. Brad Hamilton, Robbie Burton, and James Lane back into the Viking lineup.
He set that screen, but he had both of his arms up, and that's why they called him.
17-10. We're down to 11 minutes left in the first half. Peru State's been ahead most of the way here. Now Sims brings it out around the timeline to set the offense. Gets it over to Plain against the Viking zone defense. And Neverson to Gannon. Cannon hit a three-pointer minutes ago. Now Andre Scott bats it away but can't run it down. Runs out of real estate on the far side. So down to 10 on the shot clock. Peru State will get the ball out of bounds.
Good hustle on the far side by Andre. Knocked it away, but couldn't keep it from going out on the far side.
Vikes in that 2-3, sometimes a one-man front zone defense. There's a deep three by Cannon. That's an NBA three there. He missed it. Neverson gets down the offensive rebound for Peru State. Back to Cannon again. They'll reset the offense. Cannon dribbles around Cook. Inside, good pass, but good defense. Now Robbie Burton comes down. I hope he's okay. Robbie Burton came down on top. Jeff Neverson had fallen down in the lane. Robbie went up for the rebound and came down on top of it. That was a good no call. That wasn't a foul on anybody. Just Neverson was on the deck, and Robbie dropped down on top. I think they're both shaken up just a little bit, but I think they're both okay.
Going to call the tie ball, so the possession arrow favors the Bobcats. Brody Thompson in for the first time.
17-10, Peru State leads it. We're almost at the halfway point of the first half. Inside to Ruffin now. Ruffin gets it out, head of the key to McGarry. Now Sean backs it out to the right wing. Blocked out by the official. I think it's Cannon over there. Now Sims. Sims spins down the middle, puts up about a 12-footer and knocks it down. Corday Sims, good job of penetrating, gets the jumper. It's a 9-point Peru lead, their biggest lead of the game.
Vikings just cold offensively.
Wraparound pass into Robbie. Robbie loses a handle. There's a steal by McGarry, but Robbie steals it right back. Head to Lane. Lane in the corner for a three. Hits the back of the top of the backboard. That wasn't very pretty, was it? Now there's Sims with a jumper, and that's a three, and Corday Sims buries it, and Coach Chad Lance wants another timeout. So Corday Sims drains one from beyond the arc. He's got 7 points in the game, and with 9:41 left in the first half, the Vikings trail here to Peru State, 22-10.
Well, I'll tell you what, this Peru team can score, Joe. Coach Lance is not very happy over there right now, but this team is not shooting the ball very well. And there's some athletes on this Peru State club. How about Corday Sims. He already has 7 points. Ruffin has 4. Neverson has 5. This ball club is rolling right now.
Well, Corday Sims, he averages almost 18 points a game. And we've heard people say he's a very talented athlete, and he looks like it so far. Vikings just can't find the bucket right now. James Lane, a perfect example. Great look from three-point land. That last possession, banged it off the side, the front side of the backboard. And James is usually a pretty good outside shooter.
Well, these teams, let's see, the Vikings are 3-1 coming in. We'll go over the rest of the schedule at the next break. Vikings are 3-1 coming in. Peru State 2-2, and everyone said they had a lot of talent on this ball club, and they're showing it right now, 22-10. But that's the key. The Vikings are only 10 points with more than half of this first half gone.
Yeah, Vikes need to get it going right now. And look at the Vikings scoring. 4 points for James Lane, 2 each for Robbie Burton, Kyle Hickey, and Byron Cook, and that's it thus far.
Coach might need one of our halls after that.
Yeah, he might. He let it all out, didn't he? All right, Vikes have the ball now. Right wing, Brody Thompson, who's checked in, the Republic junior. Lane gets it on the right wing to Brody, down to 17 on the shot clock. Good return pass as Brody gets it back into Lane. Lane had it swatted away, but the Vikings will keep possession. 9:20 left on the clock.
Boy, good job by Sims. We talk about his offense, but he stayed with it, knocked that ball out. Good job. It did not commit a foul.
It looks like a very athletic bunch on this Peru team. Brody looking, gets it into Andre Scott. Scott double teamed on the baseline. Now the ball taken away by Neverson. Another turnover by the Vikes, and now Andre reaches in and swats it away. But getting it back is McGarry. Then he loses it as James Lane gets the ball for the Vikings. So both teams turn it over 2 times in a very, very short period of time right there. Now Hamilton outside, guarded out there by McGarry. You want to get Brad loose if we can. Into Lane, there's that little hook shot. That's what you like right there. James Lane flips that little jump hook up, knocks it down. That breaks the scoring drought for the Vikings, makes it a 10-point game with 8:46 left in the first half.
Well, I think Peru kind of likes a helter-skelter type game, and the Vikings can't get into that.
No,
they have to stay with their sets.
Yeah, you're right. There's a three. That three taken by Ruffin, and he knocks it down. In that case, it was a 2. That was a long 2 by John Ruffin. Ruffin has 6 points in the game. That was about a 16-foot jumper. Now Brody drives inside. Nice take that time by Brody Thompson as the Republic junior drives in, draws the 2-shot foul. He'll be on the stripe as that foul is going to come up against Jamar Cannon.
As I said, I think they don't mind getting up and down the floor, and the Vikings can play that pace, but we've got to get the ball to our scorers. Lane and Burton and Hamilton and Scott have to touch that ball.
Joe Williams gets set to check back in as Brody misses the first free throw. He'll have one more.
The Vikings just 2 out of 5 from the free throw line in the early going.
Robbie Burton comes out. Brody will have one more here to try to cut into the 12-point lead. Hits the second one, so Brody knocks down 1 out of 2. It's a 24-13 lead for the Bobcats. They've led most of the way as the Vikings set up a 2-2-1 zone press. McGarry walks it across the timeline for the Bobcats. Now tries to set the offense head of the key. High bounce pass to Neverson. Neverson had it knocked away by Scott, but gets it back. Right wing, it comes to Sims. Sims guarded by Brad Hamilton. Vikes look like they're man-to-man now. There's a 3 by Sims, no good. Rebound Andre Scott for the Vikings. I think Vikes have switched defenses, Ken.
Playing man-to-man now.
Now Scott out to Brad. Need to get Brad loose for a tray. Joe Williams, who's checked back in, gets it head of the key. Back to Brody Thompson. Wraparound pass to Williams on the baseline. Double team down low. I think they say Joe walked. And Joe turned and put it in. Joe hit the shot, but they say he traveled before the shot, so he shuffled both feet. So instead of a chance for a 3-point play, it'll be a Viking turnover as Kyle Hickey comes back in. Andre Scott sits down.
I like to see Joe Williams get aggressive offensively, though, around that basket.
It was a nice move. A nice, strong move. He hit the shot. He got fouled, but it won't count. There's a deep 3 out of the corner by McGarry, and that's a 3 as Sean McGarry knocks down a tray, and that's the 3rd triple of the game for Peru State. The Vikes have yet to hit a 3 as it's a 27-13 lead.
Calling for a walk again. I didn't see that one. It looked like Big Joe just kind of leaned in with the left hand, the hook, but they're going to call it for a walk. And, folks, it's a 14-point deficit.
And Vikings frustrated right now. They're trying. I mean, they're playing hard. It's just one of those things. Sometimes you try too hard, and things aren't going well, and somebody just needs to hit a couple shots, get the rhythm back again, and we'll be okay. But it's 27-13, as Ken just said right now.
Feeling that Peru's that kind of team. They're going to keep firing the ball. They're going to give you plenty of chances to get back into the game.
Kind of reminds me of Culver Stockton a little bit. I bet when those two play, it's probably 120 to 113. All right, outside it comes to Sims. Sims tries to lob it in, knocked away by James Lane, taken away by Ravi Burton.
Ooh,
Ravi almost walked there himself. Deep three by Brad Hamilton. I mean, that ought to be, let's give him 4 on that one. That was a very deep three, but that's exactly what the Vikings needed as Brad gets his first bucket of the game to make it a 9-point game. Vikes in that man now, playing pretty good man. Now Plain drives around Brody Thompson, tried to get it down low to Grant Leslie, but the ball off Leslie's hands out of bounds, so Vikings get it back. And now Coach Eric Behrens of Peru State wants a timeout. So 6:33 left to play in the half, 27-16. The Vikings lead here at home, trail here at home.
That's what they're going to do. Plain went down, and he tried a no-look behind the back pass, and it was off one of his players. So, as I said, they're going to give you opportunities to get back into the game. Don't panic, because there's going to be a lot of scoring in this one. The Vikings can just get hot. They'll get right back into this with 6:33 to go.
Well, it was good to see Brad Hamilton hit that last three. That's his first bucket of the game. How far out was he? He had to be about 5 feet beyond the arc when he launched that shot.
He was close to that hash mark out there.
Yeah, he was.
But he's got that kind of range, so he can shoot him from there, no problem.
And Brad, you're right, he didn't sling it. There was no sling on that shot. It was just a perfect release, good spin, good wrist rotation, and nothing but net. So Viking ball, 6.5 to go, first half. Hickey outside. It's Hickey, Burton, Lane, Hamilton, and Brody Thompson on the floor for the Vikes. Now Kyle Hickey flips it right past James Lane out of bounds. So I'm sure that's not what Coach Chad Lance wanted to see, as the Vikings turn it right back over to Peru State with just over 6 minutes left in the half. Like still in that man, McGarry almost falls out of bounds with it, gets it head of the key to Neverson. Now back outside to Plain. They reverse it right side, McGarry, guarded by Hickey. Good D by the Vikes here. 18 on the shot clock, back to Plain. Head of the key, McGarry. And McGarry knocked down. They're going to call a blocking foul on Ravi Burton, and that'll be Ravi's second foul as he whacks Sean McGarry to the floor. And that will be the 4th team foul on the Vikings, so still a non-shooting foul, as it looks like Ravi's going to come out. Ravi's going to come out. Brody Thompson's going to come out, and Jordan Bowling and Byron Cook both check back into the lineup.
And let's see who's coming in for Cannon. Checks back in, and so does Ruffin.
Look at number 24 on Peru State. That's Phil Jackson. You think that's the old Lakers coach?
I would hope not, because he could probably still play.
I remember when he played for the Knicks, old left-hander. He played back there with Bill Bradley and Walt Frazier, Dave DeBuscher, Earl Monroe, Willis Reed.
Yep. Came off the bench. Good player off the bench.
Right. Corday Sims lobs it into Neverson. Now there's a three out of the corner. This one taken by Cannon. Shot missed, but an offensive rebound by Sims, and he's hammered by Kyle Hickey. So Cannon missed the three, but Corday Sims there to get the offensive rebound. He'll be on the line for 2 shots as Andre Scott gets set to check back in for the Vikings.
They're going to call the foul on Jordan Bowling.
I guess that was on Bowling.
Well,
I had it. I thought that was Hickey, but they said Bowling the first to get him. So, sorry, Kyle. First shot by Sims misses. So Sims will have one more. He's got 7 points in the game. This is his first trip to the free throw line. So with 5 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in the half, he'll have one more. 27-16, Peru State on top. Second shot's good. So Sims gets 1 out of 2 to extend the lead to 12. Vikings the other way. Scott left wing, head of the key, Cook. Cook guarded by David Plain right in front of the Peru State. There's another deep three by Brad Hamilton. This one misses. And Sims ahead on the fast break. Drives in on Lane, and James got him. So, again, a good job of getting down the floor on offense by Peru State. They got Corday Sims ahead of the pack, and all James Lane could do would foul him, and that'll be James' second.
Yeah, I agree. If they played that team Culver had a couple of years ago, that you could just forget the shot clock. You wouldn't even need maybe an NBA 24-second clock.
Be interesting to see. Culver Stockton comes in here Thursday night. Be interesting to see. They've turned over most of their roster. Be interesting to see who they have now. I know they've still got some weapons.
Sims hits the first free throw.
Sims will have one more. He'll try to make it a 14-point lead, and he does. So Corday Sims, 3 out of 4 from the stripe. 5:18 left to play, 30-16 Peru. Andre comes around a pick. Andre down the middle, throws it up with the left hand. No good. Nice offensive rebound. Jordan Bowling had a crip and missed it.
Oh, man.
Jordan wide open underneath. Just put it up too strong off the glass. And just one of these days, at least so far, nothing's going right for the Vikings. And now they're going to call an offensive foul, I think, as Corday Sims goes barreling down the middle. I think they call an offensive foul on Corday. So
good thing because they hit the 3 from the corner, but it would not have counted. Didn't count because of the charging foul.
30-16. We're under 5 minutes left to play in the half. Vikes need a bucket here. Byron Cook outside to Williams. Joe's jumper. Good. Got it. Got a boy Joe. And Joe Williams knocks down his first bucket of the game and brings it back to a 12-point game.
Make a little run here in the last 5 minutes. Get this thing down to 6 or 7 points.
Vikes and that man, Joe Williams, gets a hand on it, knocks it away. That pass was intended for Ruffin, and Joe Williams reached over the top and swatted it out of bounds. So really, Vikes doing a pretty good job in this man-to-man defense. Now Plain sets it out beyond the arc, sets it up for Coach Eric Behrens' Peru State Bobcats. Sims, deep 3 by Sims. This one's short. Nice rebound, Andre. Here come the Vikes the other way. Andre Scott into the forecourt. Now backs it out. Gets it head of the key to Cook. Now to Brad Hamilton. Brad heads to the baseline. Gives back out to Big Joe. Big Joe puts up another jump shot. This one rolls off the front of the rim. But Andre Scott takes it away, and he's fouled. Nice hustle that time by Andre Scott as he ripped that rebound away from Jeff Neverson underneath, and then Neverson fouls him. So good hustle play that time.
That is an excellent hustle play by Andre Scott. He really showed some strength just to be able to put up that shot and get fouled.
Andre has yet to score. He'll have two free throws here. First one is no good. Boy. Let's see, I've got the Vikes at 3 out of 4, 5, 6, 7 from the line here in the first
3
half.
out of 7.
Andre will have one more with 4:02 left to play. Andre, a senior out of Fort Worth, Texas, gets the second one. So Andre knocks down 1 out of 2. The Peru State lead is 11 as we near the end of the first half. Now the Bobcats slow it down as Plain walks it across. Into the corner it comes to Connor. Connor goes around Bowling. Outside to McGarry. Now they get it to Plain on the right wing. Good switch by the Vikings. Vikes playing pretty good man right now. Good ball movement. Cannon thinks about a 3. Now backs up and launches a deep 3. And that was a fall-away 3 that time. He was almost falling out of bounds when he launched that. And now McGarry in the backcourt fouls Byron Cook. Well, you know, Cannon, when he shot that shot, he was falling almost all the way back. And
fade away 3 from the deep corner.
Wow.
And he made it. Made it look easy.
That's the 8th team foul against Peru State. So Byron Cook is on the line for a 1-and-1. Byron, again, is a 5'11" freshman out of Fort Worth, Texas, and he misses the free throw. Grant Leslie there to get the rebound.
Well, we're not helping ourselves in that free throw line.
Now quickly the other way.
Get it to Ruffin.
Quickly the other way goes Ruffin, and he's had a big first half. Ruffin with 6 points, drives in that time, and he's fouled. And he'll be at the line for 2 shots as that foul comes up on Joe Williams. And I think Joe got his money's worth on that one.
You better get back. This team is not going to walk the ball up the court. When they get it, they're coming, all 5 of them, so you better turn and run down court.
3:28 left to play. Vikings only 19 points in the first half to this point, and Ruffin hits the first free throw. He'll have one more. Is coming into the Viking lineup for the first time, Darryl Lemaire. Darryl is a 6'3" freshman out of Manor, Texas. First time he's been in the game tonight. As Coach Chad Lance trying to find somebody to give this team some offensive spark. Ruffin will have one more. He hit the first one. Second shot in the air. This one short, but it hits the rim and rolls in. So Ruffin gets them both. He's got 8 points in the game. 35-19, a 16-point lead.
And now the Vikings, a unforced turnover as Lemire couldn't hang on to that pass, and when he went to get it, stepped on the sideline on the far side. So that is just an unforced turnover. Folks, it's 35-19.
Wow. All right, Vikings need a stop here. We're down to 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in the first half. It's been all Peru State. Now the official calls a timeout.
Probably some water off. Well, I guess they're going to
something on the shot clock, probably.
Yes, reset the shot clock.
35-19, Peru on top with 3:16 left. And Vikes, pretty obvious, we will at least be behind at halftime. Left wing to Plain. Plain outside, goes around Cook, gets it in the quarter. Outside to Sims, good ball movement. Sims down the middle, and he's fouled as Corday Sims took it right down the pace. Good ball movement. They took it to the left, flipped it all the way across to the right wing, and then Corday Sims cut right down the middle and had a clear path. And he's fouled by Andre Scott. That'll be Andre's first foul, and that'll put Sims on the line for 2 with 3:03 left.
Sims got some perspiration down on the floor.
Now Marcus Daniels gets set to check in for the Viking lineup.
Marcus, a 6-foot junior.
Marcus hails from Orlando, Florida. So Sims, when we resume action, trying to get some perspiration up off the floor. So right now, Corday Sims will have a couple of shots here. First shot, no good. Sims will have one more. He has 11 points in the first half, averaging 17.3 a game. So he'll have one more as they try to extend this to a 17-point lead. Vikes need to make a little run here at the end of the
half. Yeah, they really
half.
do. I mean, it's 35-19 right now, and still 3:03 to go. You've got some time.
Second shot by Sims, good. So Sims gets 1 out of 2. The lead is 17. Vikes bring it across. Looks like a man-to-man defense once again by Peru. Head of the key to Marcus Daniels. Daniels dribbles to the right wing, comes around a bowling screen. Nice spin move by Marcus. Had it blocked, though, by Ruffin. But Marcus gets it back.
Good job. Good hustle by Marcus.
Marcus wraparound pass to Andre. Andre picked up by Ruffin, gets it back out to Lemaire. Lemaire splits a double team, flips it up, had it blocked by Leslie. So a couple of good blocks that time by Peru. Now quickly into the forecourt cannon, all the way across on the far side to David Plain. Plain with the left hand behind the back dribble back outside to Sims. Now Coach Eric Behrens wants the Bobcats to back the ball out, run some clock with 18 on the shot clock. 2:14 left on the game clock in the first half. There's a deep three by Sims, no good. Out of bounds, so Vikes should get it with the 2:08 left to play.
Yeah, still playing hard defensively, but again, as you pointed out on the offensive end, only 19 points in this first half.
Be interesting to see the shooting stats when they come down the pike here in just a few minutes. But Brad Hamilton back in, Darryl Lemaire takes a seat for the Vikings.
Well, Lane has 6, Burton 2, Hamilton 3, Scott 1. And they're the top 4 scorers.
Cook outside. Now Byron drives inside. Nice take. Can't get it to go, but a refound by Marcus Daniels. Marcus gets the offensive carom. Hamilton double teamed outside. I think they know he can shoot. Gets it out to Daniels. Daniels will reset the offense. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Now Cook comes head of the key to Andre. Andre to Brad Hamilton. Hamilton deep on the left wing to Marcus. Daniels puts up a 3 from the left side. No good. Rebound Plain. Here comes Peru once again on the run. They've been getting that ball up and down the floor pretty quickly all afternoon.
And, really not playing bad defense either. We talk about their offense. They're pretty good in the half-court defensively,
they do.
too.
1 minute, 17 seconds left to play in the half, and it looks like Peru just going to stand out and hold the ball as long as they can, and they've got a 17-point lead. David Plain guarded by Hamilton. Plain hasn't scored yet. He's a double-figure scorer. Normally there's a deep 3 by Cannon, no good. And a good screen out that time by Jordan Bowling. Great position. Ahead, Andre Scott drives in, can't get it to go. Rebound, Hamilton, missed the follow. Rebound, Scott, blocked out of bounds. And Coach Chad Lance has just drawn a tee, I think.
Yeah. I think he was tired of the inside physical play, and he just got a technical foul. He is upset about that because he thought there was about 3 fouls there. None of them were called. So he earned that tee.
Brad got an offensive rebound, missed the follow. Andre Scott got an offensive rebound, missed the follow.
So that's going to be a Technical foul on Chad Lance.
And that's going to put David playing. He'll be on the line. Should be a couple of free throws here. First one's good, so he'll have one more.
(37-19).
David playing for the second free throw here. Got him both. So Plain, who had not scored before that, was chosen to go to the line and shoot the two technical fouls. He drained them both, and it will be Viking ball underneath with under a minute to play, 50.5 seconds to go. It's a 19-point Peru State lead. Daniels outside. Deep three by Hamilton. Missed it. Brad missed the shot. Not going to be very good, probably. Now ahead to Leslie, who backs it out. Now about a 10-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. So Peru State in no hurry to shoot right now with 30 seconds left in the half. Vikes in that man. Plain now dribbling down to 13 on the shot clock. Now Plain spins to the head of the key. Gets it on the left wing to Ruffin. Now down to 5. Ruffin launches a three just ahead of the shot clock buzzer. No good. And then a foul on Peru State. They're going to say one of the Peru State players pushed off. They're going to call that on Sims. That's going to be a foul on Corday Sims. That'll be his second as he shoved off, and that should be a one and one for somebody. Looks like the foul was committed against Brad Hamilton. So Brad, good free throw shooter, the left-hander out of Pittsfield, Illinois. He'll be on the line for a 1-and-1 right now with 9.8 seconds to go.
Both teams with 9 fouls. Better be careful here. If you score, they still have 10 seconds.
Yeah, they'll try to get it down quickly, I'm sure. Hamilton's first shot in the air. Got it. Good job, Brad. Let's hit one more. That's 4 points for Brad. He has 1-3. He has the only triple in the game so far for the Vikings. Hamilton will have one more to try to make it a 17-point game. Get in there. Got it. So Brad knocks down both free throws. Peru State will probably get the last shot of the half. Sims, a deep three. This one misses. Rebound by Scott. One. Andre launches at the buzzer. Hits the top of the backboard. And we played the first half. And the Peru State Bobcats have come into Marshall and they lead the Vikings at halftime, 38-21.
They are impressive. We'll wait and we'll see what the halftime numbers are, but they're not going to be pretty for the Vikings. We'll be back. We've got a lot to talk about.
These days, the concept of value matters more than ever. And you'd be hard-pressed to find a better value than high school sports. Extracurricular activities, including sports, make up about 2% of the budget for a typical Missouri high school. In return, participation in sports promotes citizenship and sportsmanship. Sports also instill a sense of community pride and teach lifelong lessons about cooperation and self-discipline. They encourage physical fitness. They produce community leaders. By offering so many benefits to the community for such a small percentage of a school's overall budget, it's easy to see why high school sports are one of the best bargains around. The real cost would come from not having them at all. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Missouri State High School Activities Association and the Missouri Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
They just told us right away that we're going to house you, we're going to feed you, and every single one of his medical bills is just all taken care of.
They've saved my family from financial ruin. It allowed me and my wife both to focus on the most important thing, which was the health and well-being of our son.
We have phenomenal research, outstanding clinical care, and the generosity of public, which allow us to treat patients regardless of what it takes. And that's what makes St. Jude so magical.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Doctors send us the toughest cases to be treated at St. Jude, and our patients come from all over the world.
When we come here, they told me, don't worry, everything will be taken care of.
We could never repay St. Jude for what they've given us.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
(38-21) is our score, and the first number I want to take a look at is shooting percentage. The Vikings are shooting 22%. 7 out of 32 versus 12 out of 28 and 43% for Peru. 7 out of 32, Joe, in that first half, and just 6 out of 11 from the free throw line.
1 out of 10 from beyond the arc. So, just a bad shooting first half. And, look at some of the other statistics. The rebounding, the Vikings out-rebounded Peru by 3, 23 to 20, but and not really taking bad shots. And the Vikes did turn the ball over 10 times. Peru State turned it over 8. Just can't seem to get the ball in the bucket. Maybe this bucket to our left will be more friendly during the second half.
Yeah, Brad Hamilton was, let's see, altogether, I think Brad was about 1 out of 6. Andre Scott 0 for 6. James Lane had a field goal in there, 3 for 6.
But look at this, Robbie Burton only took 1 shot in the first half. You've got to get the ball. He had 28 points the other night, only had one shot.
Had 2 free throws.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the key. How about the scoring in that first half?
Well, in the scoring for the Vikings, of course, nobody in double figures for the Vikings. The leading scorer in the first half with 6 points was James Lane. 5 points for Brad Hamilton. Brad had the only 3 of the half for the Vikings. And then 2 points each for Robbie Burton, hit the game's first 2 free throws. Byron Cook, Kyle Hickey had 2, and Joe Williams had 2, and then 1 point, 1 free throw for Andre Scott, and that's it for the Vikings. 21 points for Peru State. Their leading scorer normally, Corday Sims. He's in double figures with 11. Corday had 11. He's the only double-figure player. 8 points for John Ruffin, 6 points each for Sean McGarry and Jamar Cannon. Cannon hit a couple of deep threes. 5 points in the first half for Jeff Neverson. And then it looks like 2 points for David Plain. He hit those 2 free throws on the technical foul.
But again, it's the field goal percentage. Vikings 22%, 7 out of 32, and 13 out of 28. And 4 out of 13, 31% from beyond the arc. Vikings have some work to do. When we come back, we'll take a look at the rest of the men's schedule today, and we're still going to talk about those women's scores all coming up.
Some statistics are surprising, some are unbelievable, and some are simply unacceptable. Right now, nearly 30% of U.S. students aren't finishing high school. Nearly 30%, and that's the average. In many places, it's even higher than that. And fixing it is a responsibility that we all share. This is President Obama, and I urge everyone, not just parents, but friends and neighbors and family members, to take responsibility for encouraging the high school students in your communities, to support them, challenge them, push them a little, and do whatever it takes to help them make it through. Because this is one statistic we simply can't afford to ignore.
You can do your part by going to boostup.org and sending an email, a text message, or even a wake-up call to a student at risk of dropping out. Go to boostup.org and provide the boost that's needed to make it to graduation. A message from the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I am your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
38-21 is our score. Let's take a look at the rest of the games going on today. Mid-America is at Benedictine. Benedictine and Mid-America both come in with records of 2-2, so there'll be some movement there. Peru here, of course. CMU at Avila. Avila still looking for their first win. They're 0-4. CMU right now tied with Valley, 3-1 for second place. Baker's at Culver today. Culver finds himself at 1-2 in the league. Baker 1-3. And then Graceland at Evangel, that long trip. Evangel on top, 3-0. And Graceland comes in 2-2. So a lot of teams, Joe, that 2-2. So something's got to give there today.
Yeah, you know, I don't see any team running away with the conference this year. I think you've got a lot of balance, a lot of parity, and there are going to be a lot of. You look at the conference champion. Will the conference champion maybe lose 5 or 6 games? I mean, you know, very well could. And there could be several teams bunched pretty well near the top, and a lot of them bunched here in the middle. So we just have to see. Kind of an interesting sideline. We talk about this Peru State. Troy Caton. Troy was the head coach at Peru State last year. I'm working with Troy now. Troy at Wentworth Military Academy in Lexington in college, and he's the assistant athletic director, the head women's basketball coach, and the head baseball coach. So Troy's a great guy, doing a good job. Did a good job with this Peru State program the years he was at Peru State, and now he's moved on and doing a good job at Wentworth.
All right, we have the women's scores, and we'll take a look at those for you in just a moment.
My name is Tom Thornton.
And my name is Cindy Thornton. We've been married 38 years. We're retired, and this is how we live united.
We play golf and we travel, but we also decided we were going to give to and volunteer with United Way at our community free health clinic.
I do the nursing at the clinic.
I work the front office, checking in patients, greeting them, making them feel comfortable.
United Way is how we contribute, because we know our time and money are going to the right places, the places that need it most and implement it best.
Judging by the thank yous we get at the clinic, I'd say we're doing the right thing with our retirement, too.
We even get a few bless yous. It's incredible.
We're Tom and Cindy Thornton. We volunteer at our community free health clinic, so we don't just wear the shirt.
We live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. My student loan is totally paid off.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. I paid more than the minimum each month, and soon enough, it was gone.
So you're just giving up?
Giving up on what?
The life of luxury. Egyptian cotton, caviar Thursdays, designer everything.
What are you talking about?
Our plan. What happened to winning the lottery and mastering the art of the perfect mimosa? Hosting galas, wearing enough jewelry to require a bodyguard, vacationing in the French Riviera, and then buying it.
I just thought maybe it was time to prepare for my future. You know, set some financial goals, make some smart investments, open a 401k.
Financial goals? Investments? A 401k? You are horrifying right now. Listen, if winning the lottery were easy, everyone would do it.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
We are back to Grover C. Redford.
Well,
and
Jason,
the Vikings
I've got to tell you,
trailing this one by the score of 38-21. Back to the women's game. The Vikings ended up in that contest shooting 47%, 14 out of 27 in the second half, Joe, 52%. So they did a pretty good job in the second half.
Really did, and they played much better the second half. I thought they really played some good defense. It was a good team effort. You can start naming a lot of people. I mean, I guess you have to start with Kiana Wharton. She ended up with, 20 points in the game. But, you know, Raina Smith hit some big shots. Kelsey Griffin hit some big shots. DJ Jenkins did a good job penetrating. Talea Earl's got in foul trouble. Julia Vasquez hit 2 huge threes. So you can just go right up and down the line, start naming people that really contributed in a big way today, and it was a good team win all the way around.
And Culver will be coming in here. Here's what happened this afternoon as far as the women's games are concerned. Mid-America went to Atchison and knocked off Benedictine 59-57, so they are alone now in first place.
Well, Mid-America looked awful good the day we played them right before Christmas up in Olathe. They jumped out early, and I'm trying to remember what that score is. I think, weren't they in the 90s in that game? I'll get that score here in just a minute. I've got it here somewhere. It was 90-53. So they really, they really played well. The Vikings didn't play all that badly. Mid-America played well.
Culver, how about this Culver women's team? They, at home, beat Baker today 57-55. Culver now 3-1 in the league, just a half game behind Benedictine in second place.
And they'll be here on Thursday night, so it would be interesting to see how good they are.
Evangel at home knocked off Graceland 73-63, and CMU gets their first conference win as they defeat Avila today in Kansas City, 71-62. So, as we head into Thursday's play, here are the records on the women's side. Mid-American Nazarene alone in first at 5-0. Benedictine 4-1. Culver, Stockton, and Evangel both 3-1. Now here's the logjam. Baker, Avila, Graceland, Missouri Valley all 2-3. Central Methodist 1-4. And Peru 0-5.
How much money could you have won in Vegas if you would have bet that Central Methodist would not get their first conference win until January the 10th?
Yeah, because they were supposed to be one of the favorites to win this conference, or at least be at the top. So there you have the scores from the women's side. The Bobcats are on the floor. The Vikings have not made their second half appearance yet. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Second half coming up.
Pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
So, you're an athlete who wants to get ahead in sports. You want to become bigger, faster, and stronger, but without the extra work. You might turn to anabolic steroids to get that big win, but you're only setting yourself up for an even bigger loss. If you're a young person between the ages of 16 and 22, abusing anabolic steroids can cause aggressiveness, extreme mood swings, or manic-like fits of anger and violence that are known as roid rage. Abusing anabolic steroids can also lead to kidney failure, enlargement of the heart, high blood pressure, and changes in cholesterol levels leading to a heart attack or stroke, even at a young age. Plus, using anabolic steroids without a prescription is illegal. To learn more about the dangers of abusing anabolic steroids, visit the website for the National Institute on Drug Abuse, drugabuse.gov. Don't juice your way to success on the field, because when you cheat, everyone loses.
And thanks to Nathan Gertz for that public service announcement for us, one of our mass communication students. And we're about ready for the second half to get underway, and the Vikings have their work cut out for them, trailing 38-21. The Vikes will have the ball to start the second half.
Well, you know, in today's game, a 17-point lead, I guess any time's a pretty good lead, but with a three-point shot and as quick a pace, this team's going to bring the ball down the floor. So we will have opportunities, as you've said several times, to get back in this thing if we can just take advantage of it.
Yeah, if you're playing a team that will run that shot clock down every time, it's a little different. There's going to be a lot of possessions in this game. Here's Andre, free throw line as we're underway. Down low to James Lane. Lane with that baby hook from the baseline just won't go. Vikings have struggled shooting in the first half.
Good ball movement, good shot.
And a good job by Hamilton. Takes it away in the corners. He hustled down. Now to Cook. Cook will push it to the free throw line. Weave out of there. Give it off to Rafi. Skip it around to Andre Scott in front of the Viking bench. Andre brings it back out. Free throw line. Off to Cook. Cook. Baseline to Hamilton. Brad drives inside all the way. Finger roll.
There we go. Good job, Brad.
Hamilton has 7. It's 38-23 in the first minute of the second half.
Now here's where the Vikes need to play on the defensive end. Really, that's where you launch comebacks with good defense.
Playing with a basketball, little point guard. Round a screen, cut off by Cook. Goes baseline left side, now kicks it back. Here's the shot up by Ruffin, no good. Fight for the rebound, and Andre Scott takes it away from Sims. Here comes Andre on the run. Andre stops, pops, 14-footer, no good. Whistle and a foul on Mr. Plain.
David Plain got him, I believe, and that's David's first foul, and that should put Andre on the line for 2.
Well, that's how you start a comeback. You play good defense, get the steal from Hamilton. Andre to the line. He'll shoot a couple here. He's 1 for 2 from the line.
Need these both.
First
There we
one
go.
good.
There we go.
The Vikes have scored the first 3 points of the second half. They'll have another one. 38-24. Next free throw is good. So the first 4 points of the half belong to the Vikings. The lead down to 13.
Get this thing down to single digits, and anything can happen.
Vikings in a man-to-man defense. They give it out front to McGarry. McGarry almost a steal. Now Lane does take it away. Lane with a steal. Gives it off to Andre. Slashes through. Way up good. That's the first 6 points. And another foul is going to be called as Andre Scott streaking down court, getting the pass from Lane after the steal, and now he has a chance to give the Vikings the 7 straight points to start the second half, and how about that? Eric Behrens takes a quick timeout. The lead is down to 11.
And I tell you what, the Vikes really doing a good job moving their feet here in this second half, really playing hard. Nice steal that time by James Lane, and give James credit. He got the steal, but then had the presence not to go ahead and take it to the basket. He had a 1-on-2 situation, waited a minute, then got Andre Scott streaking down the lane, and Vikes made it pay, so good job.
You can wipe out a 17-point deficit in a hurry when you make up 6 of those points in the first minute and a half.
You can, and that's exactly what the Vikings are doing, and you'll just, good timeout by Coach Eric Behrens that time, because you could feel, I mean, you don't let the, even though it's not a normal Viking crowd because the kids aren't back yet. I think you're going to see, I think we're going to draw some big crowds here during the rest of this conference season here at home. I think the student body will get behind this team, and I think you'll see a lot of people in the stands. And quite a few local people have been here to a good many of these games.
John Ruffin telling his Bobcat teammates, let's just calm down. This could make it a 10-point game. Free throw by Andre, good. And the Vikings have scored 7 straight points in the first minute and a half of the second half. Now they put on a little pressure in the backcourt. Plain has it, and will give it to Sims. Corday Sims into the forecourt, hands it to David Plain. Man-to-man defense by the Vikings. We've played a couple of minutes. The lead is down to 10. Plain almost walked. Ooh, that was close.
I think he did drag that foot a little bit.
Ruffin starts to go left side, cut off by Cook. Skip pass all the way across the play, and he stepped out of bounds. McGarry stepped out of bounds. He tried to take off in front of the Peru bench, and that left foot stepped out of bounds.
That should have been a turnover. That was a terrible pass by Jamar Cannon. He just looped the ball all the way from one side of the floor to the other to David Plain. And Vikes, good defense that time.
7-0 run to start the second half. Cook yo-yos the basketball on the right wing. Now gives it off to Lane, out to Andre Scott between the circles. Andre for 3, no. That hit the front of the rim, couldn't get it to go down. David Plain with a rebound. Plain, free throw line with a left-handed dribble, skips it into the corner. Now they're working underneath, and coming across, trying to take it away from Ruffin was Andre Scott. He hacked him across the forearm. That's
Andre almost got
Andre.
the steal that time, and I think he got a little bit of the wrist or the forearm, whatever. So that'll be Andre's second non-shooting foul, so Peru State will inbound.
They'll skip it way out to Plain. I don't think Plain's much of a scorer from out there. He distributes that ball. Here's the guy that can score, and he throws it away as the pass from Sims picked off by the Vikings. Brad Hamilton out front to Cook. 17 minutes to go. Vikes down by 10. Here's Cook. Drives inside. Back to Lane. Top of the key. It won't go. Another great look, and it wouldn't go down. And here is Ruffin. Gives it off to Cannon. Now a travel is going to be called on Ruffin. Woo. Vikings have scored 7 straight.
Good look that time by James Lane. Squared up, got his feet set just a little bit too hard off the back of the rim.
38-28, 16:47 to go. Pass underneath the lane, and he went up quickly, but the ball was knocked away by Sims out of bounds. It'll be Viking ball underneath.
Vikes look a lot more active on both ends of the floor here to start this second half.
I'm sure Chad said get that ball inside the lane and Burton.
Yep. Good advice.
Here's Ravi. Burton for the slam, and he's fouled. Cook gets it into Ravi. He goes up with 2 hands, slams it, and a body contact and a foul.
Well, we said earlier, Ravi Burton only took 1 shot in the first half, and he had 27 points the other night. So you've got to get the big guy. And James Lane, 20 points the other night. So you want those two getting that ball down in the paint. And the good thing about it, that opens up the outside game, too.
Ravi trying to complete the three-point play. Cannot do it. But that's 9 straight for the Vikings now. And it's an 8-point game, 38-30, 16-36. Andre almost had another steal. But the Bobcats get it into the forecourt. Here's David Plain. Plain works it top of the key for Ruffin. Ruffin back to Plain.
Jake Fletcher getting set to check in.
Plain down the middle, throws it up the left hand. It won't go. Tip won't go. Ball loose. It's up and in, and a good job by McGarry to stay with it and score. That breaks the 9-0 run. 40-30. Now a foul is going to be called on Cannon as Cook brings the ball across the timeline. Here's Jake Fletcher. You mentioned Jake coming into the game for Andre Scott. First time we've seen the young man in the game today. Jake, a 6-foot sophomore. He'll inbound the ball. 40-30, 16-11 to go. Keep this run going here, Joe.
You got to. Get open, Robbie. Get open in there.
Here's Fletcher, top of the key. Gets a good screen from Burton. Now they'll give it off to Hamilton. They're not letting him get a good look. Cook, top of the key, puts it on the floor. Round a screen. Dribbles between the legs, brings it back out. 18 on the shot clock, 15:52 to go. Lane gives it off to Cook. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Cook through traffic with the right hand, missed it. Oh boy, he went through, there was some contact. He got open and missed the shot. Now quickly Ruffin gets the pass from Plain. He was not expecting the pass and traveled with it.
You know, I think sometimes Byron Cook's going to have to shoot that outside shot, though. They're kind of backing off him. He is the point guard, but if they give you that 12, 13-footer, you got to go ahead and take it.
40-30, Vikings trail by 10. Cook gets to the free throw line. Fletcher, top of the key. In it comes to Lane. Lane, double, triple team. Fletcher has it. He goes to the free throw line. Now backs away to the top of the key. Off to Burton. Whistle. Away from the ball. Foul is going to be called.
That's 3 on Cannon. That's 3 on Jamar Cannon. He's been one of the key players. He hit those 2 big threes in the first half, and he's probably going to have to take a seat right now with 15:20 left in the game as Big Joe checks into the Viking lineup.
That's already 5 fouls on the Bobcats. Cook will inbound it. Vikes down by 10, trailed by 17 at the half. 15:19 to go. They've outscored the Bobcats 9-2 here in the second half. Need more. Fresh 35 after that foul. In it comes to Lane. Lane back to Cook and another foul. And this one's going to be called on Sims, his third. You can see some frustration on his face now as he picks up the third. And that's team foul number 6.
That's 3 on Sims. That's 3 on Cannon. They both average double figures for this Peru State team. And at least now McGarry and Cannon are going to take a seat.
Sims going to stay out there with those 3 fouls. Cook will inbound. 15:08, throws it away. Unforced turnover.
Wow.
He just threw that one by. Those hurt, Joe. Those unforced turnovers hurt.
There was no reason for that one.
So the ball comes back to the Bobcats, leading by 10. They've been outscored 9-2 in the first 5 minutes. Ball loose, and that's going to be off of Cook. He tried to get the official to say it was off David Plain, couldn't do it. Now,
and I'll tell you, Chad Lance doing what he needs to do. He's shuffling people in and out, and you got to. These guys, the Vikings, are playing a very fast pace right now, really moving their feet, really playing it hard on the defensive ends. You got to keep fresh legs.
Brody Thompson checked in. Here's Sims down the middle, and he gets the teardrop to go down. And Sims, big bucket there. That's 42-30. The last 4 points now scored by the Bobcats.
It's 13
Long
points.
Three, Hamilton won't go. Rebound, Joe Williams. Got it. Big Joe with an offensive rebound. Put it in. He has 4, and it's 42-32.
Joe cleared the lane out that time. Got the offensive rebound.
And
good job, big guy.
Took his time and put it off the glass. Good job. Sims, Yo-Yo's had basketball. Now takes it top of the key. Fires a pass into the left corner. Good catch by Neverson. Neverson, lob underneath. They get it inside the lane. Turnaround, spins in and out. Shot no good by Ruffin. Rebound comes away to the Vikings. Here comes Fletcher. Fletcher leaves it inside. Lane throws it up, no good. Wanted contact, no call. Playing with the ball. Quickly the other way with 14 minutes to go. Fires a pass. They find Sims in front of the Peru bench, and he's going to be fouled by Brody Thompson. First on Brody.
Yeah, good. Vikes playing defense. Brody went for the steal that time. Just got a little bit of the hand. So keep staying that man, guys. Keep moving their feet.
Need to get on another little run here. 13:47 to go. 10-point game. 42-32. Sims Fires a pass into the corner. Here's the shot. It won't go. And the rebound is pulled down by the Vikings as Hamilton gets it off the missed shot by Neverson. Top of the key. Now to Hamilton. Hamilton out front to Fletcher. Now to Thompson. Thompson, one dribble. Williams out high. In it comes to Lane. Now they're working in the corner to Brody Thompson. Thompson, baseline. They lob it back into the corner to Fletcher. Fletcher drives through traffic, takes it all the way. Head and shoulder fake, and is fouled. A great baseline pass to start all that by Brad Hamilton. And then Jake Fletcher just went baseline, head and shoulder fake. Got about 3 players off their feet, let him come down on his shoulders, and he's heading to the line.
Jake did all you could do down low. No way he was going to get the ball over the trees, but when he did that head and shoulder fake, like you said, 2 or 3 guys went up, and he's got a chance now to knock down a couple free throws, and he hits the first one. So that's Jake's first point of the game. Nice move by a guard down inside the paint that time.
The foul was called on Leslie Grant, his second. Hamilton will check out for a moment. 42-33, 13:08 to go. Vikings trying to battle back, down by 17 at the break. It's now a 9-point game. Fletcher's free throw, good, and good job by Jake Fletcher. 42-34. Man-to-man pressure.
You know, and at halftime, you felt the Vikes really not a part of the game. Now in the first 3 or 4 minutes, you feel like they're definitely a part of the game.
Yep, and here's Plain working against Thompson. With a left-handed dribble, quick move all the way to the basket. That should be an offensive foul. It will be on Plain as he runs over Joe Williams.
Yeah, Big Joe stepped right in there, and that was about as obvious of a charge as you're ever going to see. Joe was motionless that time.
And I mean, the little guard just went plowing into him.
And knowing Joe, I don't think it bothered him to go to the deck.
No, he probably didn't even know he got hit.
Yeah.
Here's Andre Scott, top of the key. Off to Fletcher. Fletcher starts to drive that left side. Now brings it all the way back to the free throw line. Takes it all the way right side. Head and shoulder fake. Kicks it back out to Brody Thompson. Brody. Around a screen by Thompson. Around a screen by Williams.
Joe Williams is working hard in there right now.
10 on the shot clock. Williams off to Fletcher. Fletcher spins in the lane. And a foul is going to be called.
Number 4.
This is on Neverson.
Neverson.
That's already the 9th team foul on the Bobcats. And we have 12:24 to go.
And Jake Fletcher will be back on the line. Jake just knocked down a couple of minutes ago. He'll have a 1-and-1 right here.
Bowling comes into the ball game, and also I think Ravi's going to come back in. But let's see if we can knock these 2 free throws down. Coach Eric Barron's working the officials now. 1-and-1. Got it.
Boy, Jake's on fire from the stripe. He's 3 straight times, nothing but net.
42-35 now.
Think I jinxed him.
Nope. He's confident. 6-foot sophomore.
Out of Republic.
Form at the line. Takes a deep breath. And knocks it down.
Another net burner.
So it's 42-36. The lead is now 6 as the Vikings just get a little bit closer. Still 12:20 to go. We've got a ball game. Cannon gives it off to Plain. Plain working against Thompson. Brody reaches in and fouled him. Or rather, Fletcher. Fletcher reached in. Thought he had the ball knocked away, but the official there said got him on the arm. So Fletcher picks up his first foul. That's the 3rd team foul on Valley.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. They only have 3, and Peru State has 9. So from here on out, any foul, the Vikings will be shooting 2 free throws.
42-36, 12-12 to go.
Sims comes back into the Peru State lineup, so they had him out for a breather, but he's back on the floor now.
Sims, Cannon, Neverson, all with 3 fouls. And now what do we have?
I think they call a foul, a technical foul, I believe.
A technical foul has been called on Plain. I think they called Plain for the tee. Yeah, they did. He said something, did David Plain, and so Jake Fletcher going to the free throw line. 42-36. Fletcher's free throw is good. You know, sometimes, Joe, this is the hardest thing to do.
Hey, he's feeling it now. He's got 5 in a row, and again, I don't think he's hit the rim yet, has he?
Sometimes this is tough to do. You're out there all by yourself. And a lot of times you like those players around you to shoot free throws. He's all by himself. Now a timeout has been called. The Vikings have cut this thing to 5. 42-37.
And all the momentum in the world. this is a game you wish the place was full. I mean, this crowd would really be hopping if we had a full. I mean, the people here are excited, but it would really be hopping if we had a full house and a whole bunch of students in here this afternoon.
42-37. Wow, that 17-point lead didn't last long.
The Vikings trailed by 17 points less than 8 minutes ago. I mean, it's 12-12. We played 7 minutes and 48 seconds, and it's now 5 points. The Vikings have erased 12 points in that amount of time.
Well, we talked about it several times today that a 17-point lead against a team that likes to slow the ball down would be tough. This team's going to get up and down the floor, so 17-point lead really is nothing, and the Vikings have done what they've had to do. Now they have the Bobcats wondering what in the world's going on here.
Well, and here's a good thing about it, too. Normally when you come back from way down, you hit a bunch of threes. The Vikings have not hit a three-point basket this second half. The only three-pointer in the game was Brad Hamilton's three very early on. That's the only triple the Vikings have for the day.
All right, Fletcher will try to hit yet another free throw here.
Come on, Jake. One more time. Make it a four-pointer.
5-point game. And he got it. He's an 80% free throw shooter. In fact, he was just 8 out of 10 coming in. And now how about padding your stats there? 6 out of 6 now. So good job.
I wonder what the record is for hitting the most free throws without hitting the net, without hitting the rim.
Well, that was good form on all 6 of those. 6 quick points by Jake Fletcher. Now he'll come out. Sims baseline. Shot won't go. Rebound, Rafi Burton. It's a 4-point game.
And right now, this Viking defense has got Peru State's offense completely out of sync.
Here's Brody Thompson. No-look pass inside. Bowling. Puts it off the glass and good with a jump hook. Jordan Bowling makes it a 2-point game. The sophomore from Crane, 42-40.
It's good to see these guys come off the bench and contribute. Jake Fletcher, Jordan Bowling, Brody Thompson. That's good to see.
11:38 to go, a 2-point game. Here's Sims through traffic, foul before the shot. They're going to say before the shot. Coach Behrens wanted that, but we're not in the NBA.
No, he was fouled. NBA had been continuation. They might have given him 4 points on that, but not in NAIA basketball. And that foul is going to come up. That's going to be the
first on Hamilton.
Foul on Hamilton. Yep.
Yeah, that was not. They wanted a continuation, didn't get it.
I'm not sure. They've got 24 up on the Blair.
Grant, nice pass as Sims went right back to Grant, and then Grant fired it right back to Sims, laid it in, 4-point game. Brody Thompson works it down low, ball loose, picked up by Rafi. Can't score, tips, no good. Rafi gets it back, puts it up, can't score. Still loose, Crane with it, or rather Bowling with it. He's fouled. Wow.
I mean, Bowling and Burton were not going to be denied. They might not hit the shot, but you weren't going to get the ball away from either one of those hombres right there.
And now Jordan Bowling will go to the free throw line.
I got to stick my word pelota in sometime.
Boy, that was some battle on the offensive glass. Now let's see what Jordan can do. Free throw is good. He has the last 3 points.
And Jordan Bowling, not that big. They only list him in the program at 6'4". He doesn't really even look that big, but he's physical. He plays hard. He moves around the bucket very well, and just knocked down 2 free throws.
And he knocks both of those down. The Vikings are back within 2, 11 minutes to go. Try to put a trap on in the backcourt. McGarry gets across the timeline. He hustled across to make sure he beat that 10-second call. Now here's the baseline shot, no good. Shot was taken by Ruffin, no good. Rebound Burton. Vikes to tie or take the lead on this possession. Rudy Thompson, off it comes to Hamilton. Hamilton, top of the key to Andre Scott. Scott between the legs with the dribble. Guarded by Sims right in front of us at the hash mark. Puts the ball on the floor. 10:37 to go. 15 on the shot clock. Back it comes to Brody Thompson. They want to run a play called Omaha. Here's Brody. Down to 8. Underneath. There's the shot by Bowling. Tie game. Jordan Bowling gets the pass from Brody Thompson and ties this game. The 17-point deficit is gone.
And do you know why the Vikings have made this comeback? They've held Peru State to 6 points in the second half thus far. Make it 8 now.
Now Sims drives in. Boy, he said, I'm going to the rack, and he did. Corday Sims scores in his foul. That was just a strong move.
But that's only 8. That's 8 points for Peru State here in the second half. So you look at the Viking offense, it's looked good, but there they've done it on the defensive end also.
46-44. The foul is on Andre Scott, his third. And Sims will be at the line. He's 4 out of 6 from the line. 17 points, right at his average, or just below his average of 17.3.
Jake Fletcher back into the Viking lineups. You got Brody Thompson, Jake Fletcher, Jordan Bowling, Robbie Burton, and Brad Hamilton, the quintet on the floor now.
Missed the free throw, did Sims. Takes a look skyward and disgusted with himself for missing. Here is Bowling. How about his part he's played in this comeback? He'll fire it off to Brody Thompson. Outside shot. Got it for the lead. Brody Thompson buries a triple, and the Vikings are leading 47-46. Wow.
Great comeback. Great comeback.
Brody Thompson, not the guy that normally scores. He shot that with confidence and knocked it down. McGrary kicks it out. Nemerson for three. It won't go. Rebound Sims. Battles his way and blocked by Robbie Burton, but a foul.
Yeah, Robbie, that's going to be Robbie's third foul, I believe. And that time, Robbie went up strong, but Sims also goes up pretty strong inside and drew just enough contact to get the call. And Robbie's going to have to sit down. Big Joe and James Lane are going to come back into the lineup.
Well, how about the bench in this comeback?
Oh, yeah.
Jordan Bowling, Brody Thompson, Jake Fletcher, Joe Williams.
That's what you like to see.
Man. All right, Sims at the line, shooting two. That was the 16th foul on Valley. It was a shooting foul. He hits the first one after taking a deep breath.
He's a pretty good player.
Yeah.
I've got him now with 18 points in the game.
Out of Chicago, Illinois. This game is tied at 47, 9:34 to go. Second one by Sims, got them both. Boy, he was determined to knock those two down. Looks like he's wanting to take over. So it's 48-47, back and forth we go. Lead to the Bobcats. Fletcher to Lane, back to Brody Thompson. Off to Hamilton, fakes the three, drives baseline, back to Lane, back to Brody, tries another three, he got another one! Brody Thompson 2 for 2 from beyond the arc, and the Vikings up 50-48. He has become the new instant offense star.
I feel good for Brody. Brody needs that. That was a nice shot there, a couple of big shots.
That should be an offensive foul, or are they going to call it on Williams?
They're going to say, they're going to say Joe was moving. I don't think Joe got set,
shot.
I don't believe.
No basket, though. The blocking foul came before the shot. It'll be 1-1 for Corday Sims. How about Brody Thompson? Buried a couple of threes.
I'm going to try to see. I don't know how many of those shots Brody's hit during the course of the season. Let me find his stat here, and I'll tell you here in just a minute.
Free throw, good by Sims.
He only had one three-point shot, one three-point basket coming into tonight. He's knocked down the last two.
1 for 3, and he's knocked down 2. All right, 50-49 Valley, 9:05 to go. For the tie, Sims gets it. Boy, you can just see the concentration on his face now. Here comes full court press. Let's see how the Vikings handle this. Fletcher gets it ahead to Thompson. Brad takes it all the way, layup good. Fletcher got out of the triple team, got the ball to Hamilton. Hamilton brings it all the way up court, lays it in for the lead, 52-50, and Chad Lance takes a timeout.
Yeah, good job by Brad that time. Brad could see that lane to the bucket, took it all the way in, flipped it up with the left hand, and yeah, it's going to be, I think it's going to get pretty hairy down the stretch here.
How about Fletcher there? Triple teamed in the corner, did not panic. He looked and found Hamilton open, got him the ball, and Brad knew what to do with it.
You know, I think about tough games. I got laughing last night. They had Major League 2 on. I'm sure you've seen that. I remember one of the players told Ricky Ball, the pitcher, he said, when the tough get going, the going gets tough.
Yeah, that's right. I can understand that.
Oh, I rolled around for about 10 minutes laughing at that.
And when the tough get going, when the Brad Hamiltons and the Corday Sims get going, the going gets tough. 52-50. That's a classic line. Almost as good as John Belushi's line in Animal House. Where did we give up when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
That's right. And somebody said it was a Japanese that leave Maloney's on roll right now.
One of the funniest people ever, John.
I laughed during that movie because that kind of reminded me of some of my college experience.
Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, 52-50 after Hamilton hits the layup. Instant offense. Brody Thompson stays on the floor. Why not? Wow. He and Fletcher, they have led this comeback. They're on the floor right now. Vikings now going to play a little zone defense.
Yeah, I guess maybe why Chad took that time out there.
Just want to watch Sims. Yeah. Here's the free throw line. Open jumper missed. Rebound Lane. Shot missed by Ruffin.
And Ruffin couldn't miss in the first half. I don't think he scored here in the second half. His Vikes have really shut him down well.
8:32 to go. Viking ball. Bounce pass Fletcher. Top of the key. Looks for Williams. Gets it to him. Free throw line. Joe head and shoulder fake. Gives it back to Fletcher drives left side all the way to the rack. Yep. He is tripped and fouled by Plain.
Yep, there we go. That's going to be 4. I've got 4 on David Plain now. He's the one that picked up that technical a minute ago, so he's got 4 fouls, and that's going to put Jake, who's a perfect 6 out of 6 from the stripe, going to put him back on the line with 8:17 left to play.
Plain played 17 minutes in that first half, so they want him on the floor. And here's Fletcher. Vikes up 52-50, 8:17 to go. They've erased a 17-point deficit, and he missed one.
Well, he proved he's human there.
Good form, just didn't go in. That'll knock this one down. 8:17 left. 10 team fouls on the Bobcats, 7 on the Vikings, so both teams shooting free throws the rest of the way, 8:17. And this one is good, so Fletcher right back on course. 53-50. Now it is Sean McGarry brings it into the forecourt, leaves it for Sims. Corday Sims off to Ruffin.
Like still in that zone defense.
And I like this zone now. Switch things up a little bit. Sims working on the wing and give him the ball. 14 on the shot clock. Underneath, they get it to McGarry, and the Vikings did not pick him up, slashing down the lane. Sims got him with a pass, laid it in with the left hand. 53-52, Valley by 1.
One thing about a zone, there are some dead areas, and Peru State found one that time.
Brody Thompson, no-look pass underneath the lane. Reverse layup, good. James just kind of snuck under the lane. Reverse layup, used that rim to keep the big arm of Sims away from the ball, and he scored 55-52.
Good body control by James Lane that time. That was a tough shot.
7:25 to go. Entertaining basketball here. Here's Sims. Going to fire the outside shot. Hit it. It's a 2. And Sims having a huge night. 55-54. Vikes by 1. What a second half. 7 minutes to go. Thompson takes it all the way to the rack. Reverse layup with the left hand won't go. Ball goes out of bounds. And Brody tried the reverse layup but wouldn't go down. Williams knocked it out. The ball will belong to the Bobcats. Brody Thompson, a big effort he gave us in this comeback, and he'll come out right now.
And Brody shot, when you've only shot 3 threes all year and hit one of them, you're a little hesitant to shoot. Brody stepped right up. He saw the shot, didn't hesitate. Good spin, knocked them both down.
McGarry goes a high post to Neverson. Vikes back into man-to-man on this trip down. Into the lane. Short jumper, good by McGarry. He got in the lane, put that one up over Williams. 56-55. 4 straight now for the Bobcats. They regain the lead.
4 straight for McGarry. He's got 12 in the game.
Here's Cook, free throw line. Almost threw it away. Gives it off to Hamilton. Brad kicks it out to Fletcher. Fletcher starts to penetrate. Around a screen by Williams. 17 and throws it away. Ball was tipped by Neverson. Tried to get it to Cook. Neverson tipped it. Robbie Burton will check in now. And Andre Scott will come back in. 6:23 to go in the game. 16 on the shot clock. Fletcher comes out. Good job by Jake. Vikings have their starting 5 on the floor right now. Good rotation by Chad Lance. Gets all these players some rest. Now he's got the starting 5 on the floor.
Well, boy, the bench gave him some big minutes.
Did they
sparked a big part of this comeback.
10 on the shot clock. Vikings have to go to work here. 6:15. Andre Scott leaves it out for Burton. Underneath, they give it to Lane. Little jump hook from the right side. Good. That's 10 now for Lane. And the Vikings regain the lead, 57-56.
Vikes reversed the ball a couple times, got it to the other side. That opened up the lane for Lane, and he laid it in.
Under 6 minutes left now. Top of the key. Cameron thought about a 3, didn't take it. Now he will try a 3, top of the key.
Wow.
Got it.
Wow.
Wow. Jamar Cannon, his third triple, and a timeout has been taken by Peru. 59-57. Some big-time shots on both sides of the floor.
Let's put Brad Hamilton and Jamar Cannon out here about 30 feet out from the basket and let them each shoot about 10 of those. And I'd say both of them will hit a high percentage. That was a very deep, long-range three right there, and that's the third triple in the game for Cannon.
Well, he faked it the first time, and then the second time he decided, I'm going to let it fly, and he did. 59-57. What a comeback by the Vikings. They're 17 points down at the half, but now this thing is really getting interesting with 5:48. But again, Joe, in this game, as many possessions we're going to have, they still be, each team could still score 20 points in this.
Oh, they could. Well, you know, and the Vikings made the comeback. Now they've got to seal the deal.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to really make some plays down the stretch here. And playing with a lot of energy during the comeback, but then you got to kind of settle in now as the game's on the line and, you know, no mistakes and get good shots, get stops on the other end. And, boy, what a comeback, though. The Vikings, again, folks, in case you just tuned in, Missouri Valley trailed, the Vikings trailed 38-21 at halftime. And with about 11 minutes to play in the half, the game was tied.
Vikes have already scored 36 points this half.
Yeah.
36-21 has been the second half scoring.
And really, they held Peru State to 8 points for the longest of time. The Bobcats have heated up here in the last few minutes of the half. But, boy, it's been a fast and furious game here from the Burns Athletic. We're supposed to be in Peru, Nebraska today, but due to water problems, we're here at home, and it's a good one.
Here's Cook with a basketball. Vikes down by 2. Hamilton turns for a 3 in the lead. He got it. Oh, Brad Hamilton has 10. He just grabbed it, spun, shot as he was still completing his spin move and nailed it.
That's a fourth tray of the game for the Vikings. Hamilton has 2 and Brody Thompson with 2.
And the Vikes up 60-59. That was a heck of a move. Here's McGarry. Gives it out front. Now Sims slides across the lane and scores. Oh, is he a force? 61-60.
I've got him at 24 points right now.
He is really getting it done now. Cook with the basketball, 61-60 Peru. 5 minutes remaining in this ball game. Sims had 11 points at the half. Andre Scott out front. Andre going to take it left side all the way to the basket. Layup good. He just went right by Sims and scored. Andre now has 8. 62-61 Valley with a lead.
Kind of a stop-and-go dribble that time by Andre to clear that space down the left side.
Here comes Sims down the middle all the way. His layup missed it. Long rebound comes out, however, and now the Vikings try to grab it away from Neverson. They can't do that.
Could have been called for a foul right then. We're lucky we weren't called for a foul.
Here's McGarry around. Kicks it off baseline. Shot on the way. No good. Rebound Lane. And he'll give it off to Hamilton, who will give it to Cook. 4:17 to go. Valley up by 1 with the ball.
Each possession very important here from here on out.
It's fun, isn't it?
Oh, a good game. Yeah, it's a good
Cook
ball
gives
game.
it off to Hamilton. Back to Cook. Around to Andre. Andre, top of the key. Now they'll hand it off to Hamilton. Hamilton gives it to Rafi at the free throw line. Rafi tries to drive in. Nothing there. 12 on the shot clock. Vikes have to hurry. Now down to 9. Down to 7. Here comes a tough shot on the way, and it's no good. Scott hits the deck. No foul is called. Good defense by Peru that time down.
Yeah, shot clock winding down. Andre had to take that shot.
McGarry gives it out front to Cannon. Cannon can light it up. Cannon, step back, doesn't take the shot. Ruffin, top of the key. They'll swing it around to the right wing. Here comes McGarry, little push-off, got away with it, steps in the lane, goes underneath. Shot blocked by Ronnie Burton. It comes down underneath to Sims. Sims or Neverson, back to Sims. Sims loses the ball to Cook. Cook with it, 2-on-1. Here comes Cook, left side all the way, throws it up toward the basket. It won't go, but he's fouled. Oh, man, is it getting physical in there.
And 15 people just stepped up right in front of me that time. Well, the Viking bench very excited here, and that was a great steal. Somebody blocked Sims' shot, took it over, stripped him from the ball, and Cook ahead of the pack, flipped it up with the left hand and draws a 2-shot foul. And we're down to 3:17 left to play in the game, a 1-point Viking lead.
Let's see if Cook can knock these down now. Again, he's shooting 2. The Vikes will be shooting 2 the rest of the way, and that's good. And you know what? Going into that shot, I'm not going to jinx him. He's only a 47% free throw shooter. He looked like a 90% free throw shooter on that one.
1 out of 2 today. He'll have a chance to extend this lead to 3. It looks like Neverson's going to sit down. see who came back. It looks like Plain came back into the lineup for Peru State.
Plain has 4 fouls.
What kind of socks has Plain got on there? Those, I kind of trying to look at the design on those socks.
I like them.
Yeah, don't know what that is.
A little tie-dye. Yeah. How about Cook? A 47% free throw shooter, knocks them both down. 64-61. Vikings by 3. They trailed by 17 at the break. We're winding down to the 3-minute mark. Here's McGarry out front. Vikes in a man-to-man defense. 22 on the shot clock. 3 minutes remaining. Here's Ruffin. Gives it off to Sims. Sims, long three for the tie. Missed it. Rebound knocked out of bounds. It should be Viking ball. Last touched by Ruffin.
Kind of a frustration shot, I think, by Sims.
So
he was
too.
way out there that time, tried to launch one and missed it. So the Vikings, if they can get a bucket here, this could be huge.
Oh, boy. Up by 3, 2:48 to go. 64-61. Hope you're enjoying it on Stretch and live stream. Chaz Maddie running the show on live stream today. Here's Burton, top of the key.
Good ball movement by the Vikings.
Take
Good ball
your time.
movement.
Find
good
Hamilton. Hamilton gives it off to Andre. 17 on the shot clock. 2:23 to go. Cook has it. Top of the key, Burton. Around to Hamilton. They won't let him pull the trigger on that 3. Lobs it into James Lane. Lane goes inside. Kicks it back to Cook. Cook gets inside the lane. Off the glass. Go! Oh, what a shot by Byron Cook. Peru wanted a travel call, didn't get it. 66-61 Valley, 2:13 to go.
Byron completely off balance on that shot.
Cannon buries a deep triple from the hash mark right in front of the Peru bench. Oh, my. And he now has 4 of those in the ball game. Wow, that was way out there. And he just launched it. Let's check Cannon's numbers. Well, he can shoot them, Joe. He's a 46% shooter from beyond
Is
the
he
arc.
really?
You
Wow.
better guard him.
I guess we're lucky he's only hit 4 of them.
Whoa. 66-64, 2:07 to go. But how about that move in the lane by Byron Cook?
Byron Cook completely off balance when he launched that shot. Just kind of flipped it up and had it under control all the way and kissed it off the glass and in. And it's good to see Byron step up. He and DJ Booker pretty well shared the point guard position during most of the year. DJ has been the starting point guard until he came down with that hyperextended knee on Thursday night. Boy, Byron stepped in and done a great job this afternoon.
Wow. 66-64. What a game this has been. If you just joined us, the Vikes trail by 17 at the break, 38-21.
Well, and I tell you, we found out Phil Jackson, he was a 6'9" guy that was out warming up in street clothes. He was telling me he will be eligible for this Peru State team next week, so we'll probably see him when we head up there.
Valley has scored 45 points here in the second half. 2:07 to go.
Yeah. Need to pull this one out, guys. We're going to be looking to try to finish that top 4 this year. This could be a big one.
They get it to Cook. Now back to Lane. Some pressure in the backcourt as Eric Behrens wants his team to press. Ahead it comes to Andre. Andre across the timeline. They look to trap him. Gives it off to Hamilton. Back to Andre. They're looking to trap way out high. Down to 1:53. 20 on the shot clock. Cook now will settle them into their offense. These coaches are working as hard as the players. Here comes Cook. Starts down the middle again. Lane gives it off to Hamilton.
10 on the shot clock.
2-point game. Hamilton to Andre. Down the middle. Left hand. Got it. Finger roll for Andre Scott. Use that athletic ability to make it 68-64 with 1:30 to go.
9 points for Andre in the second half, 10 in the game.
Here comes Sims. Has the ball blocked out of bounds by Robbie Burton. I don't think they called a foul. Good block by Robbie.
No, they didn't. They called that a block. It's going to be Peru State's ball. We're down under a minute and a half, 1:27 left. Vikings up by 2 possessions, 68-64.
Well, you better watch Sims and you better watch Cannon.
Yeah. And watch Cannon no matter where he is.
I don't care where he's at. He comes over and sits with us, he can let it fly.
Yeah.
And we're on the opposite end of the half court. All right, McGarry to inbound, 28 on the shot clock, 4-point lead.
Speak of the devil.
There he goes, turn around, missed it, rebound Andre Scott. A little too close, and Andre says, get away, I'm gonna bring it up, 1:15 to go. Couple of possessions left in this one. Here comes Andre Scott, and Andre's gonna be fouled. 68-64, 1:10 to go, and Andre Scott, the senior out of Fort Worth, Texas, showing his senior leadership, and he's head to the line.
You know, the only thing, I just wish there had been more people here to see this afternoon. What a comeback by this Viking team. And I'm confident they're going to pull it out. It's certainly not over yet, but they really made a nice
these
run
down
coming
here.
back. Yeah.
Knock these down here. 4-point game. Make
Good
it
boy,
5.
Andre. Good job. That gives him 11 in the game. He's 5 out of 6 from the stripe on the night.
A minute 10 to go. Now you just do not want him to shoot a 3. Here's the second one. That one spun in and out. Vikings have to play good D here. 5 out of 7 is Andre. Down to a minute 6 to go. Quickly, they get it to Cannon. Cannon, baseline, scores, and that was easy. Cannon gets the 2. So it's 69-66. Vikings with the basketball. Still in backcourt. They hustle it ahead to Cook. Cook's got to get it across that timeline, and does. Throws it away. Cook trying to get it to Hamilton. He had to beat the 10-second call and threw it away.
Yeah, and that just didn't need. I think Byron was a little bit afraid that the clock was winding down. He was going to get a 10-second violation and threw it into no man's land. Brad Hamilton was close, but just couldn't quite get to it.
This day 2 years ago, we had 3 overtimes, you know.
Yeah, hey, I know this is that magic weekend, isn't it?
69-66, 41 seconds to go. Here comes Plain. Boy, quick move, throws it away. Plain trying to get it to Sims, threw it over his head into the scorer's table. Thank you, we'll take it.
Peru State arguing that somebody tipped it, but I don't think they did. I think he just threw that one away, I believe.
35.5, so you have, you can run the clock out. They're going to have to foul here.
Going to have to hit some free throws down the stretch. It's still a one-possession game. We can make it a 2, either a bucket or a free throw. And now Brad Hamilton, they don't want to foul him, I don't think.
Hamilton gets it off to Lane. Lane is fouled.
Yeah,
it's a good foul, too, because we had a 3-on-1 break.
Yeah. Well, Brad Hamilton, they were right in position to foul Brad, but I think the word was you don't want to put him on the line. So, but I'll tell you, James Lane, a good free throw shooter, too.
First time Lane's been to the line, and he will shoot a couple. You get one, it's a 2-possession game.
Yeah, that's big here. 30 seconds left
have at least
to play.
One of these. James steps up, the senior out of Cape Girardeau.
Come on,
Let's
James.
Fly. Got it.
Boy.
Attaboy. You
Good
talk
job.
about cool.
And, you know, James Lane can very quietly have double-figure games, just like he haven't noticed him that much tonight, but he's got 11 points.
11 points and hit that line. Coach Chad Lance, with what voice he has left, says don't foul.
Think Chad will go right to bed when he gets home tonight? Or?
I don't know.
I imagine he'll be
Maybe
up a while.
running around for a while.
I
Second
imagine
free
he'll
throw,
be up
no
a while.
good. So it's a 4-point game. Lane missed it. We're down to 27 seconds to go. Here comes McGarry quickly down the middle, all the way. Layup, no good. Fight for the rebound. Robbie Burton has it. Now it comes away to Hamilton. Hamilton gives it to Cook. The Vikings do not have to shoot. Here comes Andre Scott. He is fouled with 15.4 seconds to go. Not over yet, guys. Don't celebrate too much.
I think Jamar Cannon just fouled out of the game. So
what a comeback by the Vikes.
This is one of the best comebacks I've seen the team. This is my 8th year, I think, doing this. And I don't ever remember any bigger comeback.
Well, Chad likes this team, and they showed here in the second half what they can do when they put it together.
The only comeback I remember similar to it was the one Central Methodist almost made against the Vikings, the opening game of the season.
Andre Scott with that, and that's a 50-point second half for Valley. 71-66, 15.4. Well, it'd be a tough loss for Peru. Look at their heads hanging a little bit. This has been a tough one. They're up by 17.
They played a good game.
Andre gets them both. And Chad Lance takes a timeout. 72-66, 15.4 seconds to go. They need 2 threes. The Vikings need 17.4 seconds off the clock and get this win. Chad Lance. And we'll talk about all these players, but we'll talk about a lot of them. Jordan Bowling, Joe Williams, Brody Thompson, Jake Fletcher, Kyle Hickey, the guys coming off the bench were so instrumental in this comeback in the second half. We cannot forget talking about them. 15.4 seconds. If the Vikes hold on to win, they'll be 4-1 in conference play and 10-5 overall, but that really doesn't matter. It's that conference mark, and Peru would fall to 2-3. That's if. Still 15.4, and I'm not counting anything out in this game yet.
Ken, this is unofficial, but I've got the Vikings at 18 out of 22 from the free throw line in the second half.
That's great. And how about Jake Fletcher, 7 out of 8.
Well, Andre Scott with 6 out of 7.
Yep. James Lane, 1 out of 2. Hamilton, he's had a couple free throws. The Vikes have done it, and Corday Sims has had a great game.
Jordan Bowling, the one time he had those 2 big buckets underneath. The one time he stepped to the line, he knocked down 2 free throws too.
Wow. This team was flat in the first half.
No doubt about it.
Come out here. 51 points here in the second half. All right, Vikes are going to put some pressure on. Good move to make them take some time. Down to 13, down to 12, down to 10. Long three on the way. It's rattling in and out. Ball loose, picked up by whom? It's picked up by Andre Scott. The Vikes are going to win it.
Yes, they are. They're going to go to 4-1 in conference play, going to stay in no worse than a tie for second place in the conference race.
Wow. What a comeback by Missouri Valley College. Down 17 at the half. They scored the first 7 points of the second half.
You know, and Ken, we think the Vikes can have a pretty good season this year. If we do end up doing this game will be one we'll remember.
Yeah, because this would have been a tough one to lose at home because they're going to be tough to beat up their place, you know that.
Yeah.
And Andre Scott just sealed the deal. 73-66, 52 second half points.
And you wonder what big comebacks can do. How about that one the Royals made in the playoff game against Oakland? That just got them going, and they never look back.
This is the next one. Doesn't matter. And here comes a long shot at the buzzer. It won't go, and Valley has come back with a 52-point second half. They have come back from a 17-point halftime deficit to win this thing by the score of 73-66. We'll talk it over with the coach next.
Perceptive value matters more than ever. And you'd be hard-pressed to find a better value than high school sports. Extracurricular activities, including sports, make up about 2% of the budget for a typical Missouri high school. In return, participation in sports promotes citizenship and sportsmanship. Sports also instill a sense of community pride and teach lifelong lessons about cooperation and self-discipline. They encourage physical fitness. They produce community leaders. By offering so many benefits to the community for such a small percentage of a school's overall budget, it's easy to see why high school sports are one of the best bargains around. The real cost would come from not having them at all. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Missouri State High School Activities Association and the Missouri Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
We are back to Grover C. Redford Gymnasium, and the Vikings pull this one out tonight by the score of 73-66. 52 points in the second half as the Vikings win it and go to 4-1 in conference play and assure themselves no matter what happens, they will at least be tied for second place in the league. Quickly looking at the scoring, it looks like the Vikes were led by Andre Scott with 14. 11 points for James Lane. Hamilton had a dozen. 4 for Burton, 6 for Cook, 7 Brody Thompson, 2 for Hickey, 7 for Fletcher all from the line. Jordan Bowling had 6, and Joe Williams had 4. The Vikings shot 38%. Remember, they only shot 22% in the first half. They came back 15 out of 26, 58% in the second half to shoot 38% in the second half. And from the line, the Vikings tonight, 25 out of 35, but they were red hot in the second half from the free throw line as they overcome a 17-point deficit. Chad Lance joins us. Probably not much of a voice left, but Coach, you are just flat as flat can be in the first half. Scored 52 points in the second half.
Well, I was trying to will them, and I usually don't do that, but I apologize to the officials because I really didn't want a technical foul. We wasn't playing well, but I was trying any means necessary to light a fire in our guys. And just speaking to Joe here as I came over, and Joe asked me what I said to him at halftime, and believe it or not, I trust our guys, and I didn't get on them. I just looked at them in the eye and man to man and told them that we wasn't here, we wasn't present, and it wasn't about this game, and it was about that we can never feel like this again. And, I'm so proud of our group. They showed some resiliency, and they fought.
Well, we talk all the time about James Lane, Rafi Burton. Let's talk about, first of all, Jake Fletcher. 7 out of 8 from the free throw line in the second half.
Awesome. We had guys coming off the bench and step up, and that's why I love our team. I mean, we got great character. Win or lose, we got great character, and that showed tonight, and that's why we really won the ball game.
Brody Thompson takes 2. He's 1 for 3 on the year from beyond the arc. He takes 2 crucial threes and knocks them both down.
And Brody can shoot, and I trust he can shoot. And we've had a lot of conversations about shooting and whatnot. And Brody's a confidence kid, and he knows I got tons of confidence in him. Whether he plays or he doesn't play, or he plays 3 minutes, or he plays what he plays tonight, I'm always in Brody's corner, and he knew that, and it was time for him to step up tonight, and he did that.
And then Jordan Bowling, Joe Williams. What can you say about their inside play?
It's a team. It's a team, and that's what it takes to win night in, night out. So we talked before the broadcast of winning a round, and we was about to get knocked out, and somehow we got back to our corner and was able to regroup.
Well, you said the other night it's a 15-round fight, 15 games to go. You've won the first 2 rounds.
We just got to keep battling, and it starts with preparation, and it starts with trust. It really does start with trust in each other's system, trust in each other's back defensively, and if we do that, we'll be in good shape.
And this is a good basketball team you beat today. They have some talent, don't they?
Oh, Peru's loaded. I mean, I don't know of a better player than Carday Sims.
Ooh.
I mean, he can get it when he wants to get it.
Coach, what a comeback. You came out, scored the first 7 points of the second half, cut that thing to 10 just like that, and then all of a sudden it's a ball game again.
It was a ball game again, and that's what we talked about, is being able to chip and get stops. And we all know is that when you get stops and you get scores, that's how you create a run.
All right, Coach, 4-1. The worst you're going to be when you go look at the scores is tied for second place in the conference, 5 games in, and we have yet another home one on this homestand. We get Culver in here, another tough battle coming up Thursday.
Yeah, it's going to be just like this, no doubt. They're as talented as anybody in the conference. They got a bunch of guards that can go get it, so we got to be ready to play.
Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Whatever voice you have left.
I don't know how I managed to keep the voice. I don't know. So.
All right, great win, though. This is a fun one.
All right,
thank
you.
Job. You bet. So the Vikings win it, coming with 52 second-half points to come back and win this thing. We'll go over the scoring. I mentioned the Vikings scoring, and it was 25 points for Corday Sims, 14 for Jamar Cannon, all from outside, 1 2-point bucket. Sean McGarry had 12, 8 for John Ruffin. Joe, I guess you just take a look at this ball game. Vikings shot 58% in the second half after shooting 22% in the first half. But I'm with you. I think it was triggered by defense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you talk about, well, we got to start hitting some shots. There's not a lot you can do about that. I mean, it wasn't like they weren't looking at the basket when they shot, but you can really try to up your defense and try to shut somebody down, and that's exactly what the Vikings did the first part of that second half. They held Peru to like 6 points the first 6-7 minutes of the half, and that allowed the offense to get rolling, got us right back in the game.
And this bench today, I think if you have a game ball, it goes – we had some great play from our starters, but I think the bench gets the game ball.
And, several players, Joe Williams, Jake Fletcher, Brody Thompson, Jordan Bowling, I mean, just – right down the line, all of those guys stepped in and played big roles, made big shots, made big stops on defense. And, basketball is more than a 5-man game. You've got to have contribution out of 9, maybe 10 players, and that's exactly what the Vikings got this afternoon.
Well, partner, let's do it again Thursday. We'll be right back here. Another game just like this. Culver will be here just like this one.
Now, sure, we're not going to flip it and go to Culver on Thursday.
We're going to actually be here. Then we get to go on the road.
Yeah, well, let's see. We still got Culver. We still got Springfield. We still got Peru. We still got Grayson.
Oh, yeah, we got a few left.
Okay.
But a good day for the Viking men and women as they both win. For Joe All, I'm Ken Quiaba. Enjoy your Saturday evening and join us Thursday, both on Stretch and on live stream, as we'll be on the air right about 5:30 as Culver Stockton will be in town. So long for Marshall.